So yesterday might have been kind of spooky for some people, but it's important to remember that volatility brings new opportunities. And just looking at the chart with Bitcoin yesterday, you can see this giant down move that we had, right? And what I want to do today is just share some of the things that I'm doing to take advantage of this opportunity, and then kind of take you through the process and my strategy. So yesterday, Bitcoin hit a low of about 42,000. And also, if I to just kind of frame that a little bit, if I take a look at the S&P 500, the S&P also had a drop yesterday as well. So it's not Bitcoin moving, in like inverse proportion to the broad market. They're actually both, kind of struggling a little bit right now together. And so jumping over and taking a look at some of the news. If I look at some of the headlines, you'll see things like, one more Bitcoin price dip. Bitcoin may fall again before a slow grind up, warns analysts. So it's important to take these headlines with a grain of salt, because if you go and look at all of the headlines that are published, they're all over the place. And just to highlight that, just go over here for Cointelegraph, just go to markets and then market analysis and look at some of the previous headlines. So if I scroll down a little bit further and start down here, you can see, okay, like here's a headline from just December 3rd, and it says, analyst says Bitcoin is on sale after the price dipped below 54,000. So there, everybody's bullish, right? Analysts are pumping everybody up. We think it's going to go higher. Okay, great, that's fine. Then the very next day, you get a big dump. Then you scroll up a little bit and you see things like, Bitcoin tumbles below 47,000, wiping out October gains. Bear market begins. So now they're bearish, right? So, then you go up a little bit further and you read some other things. Now here's somebody saying, okay, Bitcoin could consolidate. So far, just within 2 days, you've got the perspective of somebody thinking that the price is going to go higher. Somebody thinks it's going to go lower. Somebody thinks it's going to consolidate. So you have every potential outcome already on the table if you just go by news to do your trading. If you scroll up a little bit further, so here's the one today, Bitcoin, one more Bitcoin price dip and then a slow grind up. So I don't know, like I'm not a technical analyst or anything, but I do like to use charts in order to help me decide where my entry and exit points are going to be. Mostly it just gives me a reason to place a trade. So if I go back over to my charts and you take a look based on that last analyst article, if I were to use a trend line like this and you see this massive breach of that trend line, then kind of what I think that analyst is talking about is maybe a quick retracement back up to that trend line, and then it gets rejected, and then you see a dump, and then after that dump, a maybe like a V-shaped bottom, maybe some consolidation, and then you get back into the mode where everybody's like Bitcoin to 100,000 or whatever. But that's kind of what I feel like is the most likely scenario right now. Nobody knows, and I'm definitely not a financial advisor, so not that really even matters. But please don't take this as any reason to go place a trade just by what I'm saying. I'm just showing you the things that I'm looking at. So some of the other things that are happening in the news, if I go back, what I like to do is just kind of take a look at some of the headlines every day just to get an idea of what's happening. So here's the one that we just talked about. I'll look at some of the hot stories over here just to see if there's anything out that I don't know about, and mostly just talking about Bitcoin so far. There's some information over here about Jack Dorsey, which I don't care. And then there's another hack that showed up, Bitmart hacked for 200 million. So this is interesting. There was just the Badger DAO hack that also impacted Celsius that happened the other day, and I think that was around 120 million. So it's interesting to see these, and you should spend some time reading through and trying to understand how exactly these attacks are happening. I will say one thing, like companies like PeckShield, they're getting a lot of press right now, and they've got to just be raking it in from like a security company focused on crypto. So interesting to see this. Doesn't really impact anything that I'm doing, so I don't so much care right now. And if I scroll down and look toward any other events that are happening, I'm looking for I'm looking for stuff that impacts me. So in my strategies. So here's one about staking. I'll just jump into that and check it out real quick. So without staking, institutional crypto investors cannot escape inflation. Well, I mean, so kind of the whole point here and why staking is a part of my strategy is exactly that. I mean, it doesn't really take very much to beat what a bank would give you in terms of a return for just letting your cash sit and rot. So that definitely makes staking interesting. If you're not familiar with staking and the financial benefits, you should go maybe check out this article and start to do more research on it. I'm going to continue on, and then I'll jump in and actually show you more about what my strategy is. And I'm curious to hear your feedback on it too. There may be some things that I'm doing that you don't agree with, and I want to hear about it. So please leave a comment. So if I go here and look at Decrypt, just to continue kind of looking through the news. So one of their headlines is a new NFT that just looks awesome. Not really. And then there is some information on Polkadot, Chainlink, hardest in the market, Wipeout. So let's kind of read this a little bit. And I don't really see. I mean, this is mostly opinion. I don't really see anything here that is going to impact me today or my overall strategy. I do hold, I do hold several different layer one coins. So, and that's part of my overall strategy. So, we might come back to this and kind of read more about it later, but I think I don't think there's anything there right now worth looking at. The other piece that I like to do is come over and look at coin market cap and then go through and kind of look and see if anybody has been displaced in kind of the top 20 or top 50 or so, how everything looks overall. So you can see Matic is on a tear, which is great for me. So I'm invested in Polygon and Avalanche. So Terra Luna, I don't have a position. I don't have any Luna, no position right here, but and I may have missed the opportunity. I may have missed an opportunity to enter yesterday, but that's okay. I'm not chasing anything, and if it comes back and I get another opportunity later, then I might take it. And I don't know why it's not loading right now. But just kind of going back to where I like to look, I like to come through and look at the top list. There are obviously like a lot of movers right now, and a lot of probably a lot of opportunities to get involved if you're looking to do that. So then I'll go to DeFi, and I want to see what's happening in the DeFi space. Again, here's that Luna chart, 42% in the last 7 days, which is awesome. AVAX, which I'm super bullish on, is down 20%, which I reloaded a little bit yesterday. And then you've got Phantom, which down 24%. I'm also bullish, and I hold some Phantom. So just kind of looking through some of these and looking at some of the big drops and who's really taking a hit. Anchor is one that I want to look into more. I don't really know much about this, but I do want to explore this a little bit more later. If anybody knows anything more about Anchor, please let me out, or please help me out with that. And then just kind of scrolling down, not really much else that's standing out to me right now. Then the other place that I like to stop is over here on Metaverse, and let's see what's happening here. So we've got some drops in like the mid 20s, and looks like here's a 30% drop, but really like Engine and Sandbox, Decentraland, these are the ones that I want to take a look at. And Sandbox taking a 24% hit may open up some opportunities for not necessarily Sandbox, but some other smaller market cap coins that are in the same space, and that's what I would be looking at this point. And like if I didn't buy any Sandbox or anything yesterday. Like I said, I'm looking at more of the smaller market cap things right now. But if there is another drop in Bitcoin and in some of these follow suit again, a deeper dive, then I might go ahead and open a position in those coins. Or in those projects. So scrolling down, Vulcan Forge, let's take a look at these guys. 13.9% drop, and hopefully the chart will load this time. Yeah, it did. So if I do a 7-day look, then yeah, nice little drop here. I want to learn more about what these guys are doing. I hear a lot of really good things, but I haven't like spent any time researching their project. But I want to see what they're doing, what their ecosystem looks like, and this might be something that I come back to later. So overall, that's kind of how I start the day, and just kind of doing an overview of what's happening in the market and what's happening in the specific categories that I care about, DeFi, Metaverse. And then the next thing I would do is go and check through my position. And my strategy is, which I think is really important, to not just come into, like, I'm new to crypto, right? So I think it's really important not just to come straight in and start just throwing money at things, but have some type of strategy and know what to do when you have some type of correction or something like we just had, so that it's not a panic. You can see it as an opportunity and not as something devastating. If you feel hurt by this, then you're probably over leveraged in one place or another in your portfolio, and that's a problem. And it's probably lack of an overall strategy. So having a strategy, knowing what you're going to do with your money when something like this happens, what you're going to do with your current positions, how are you going to, like, basically like a fire escape plan. How are you gonna liquidate and go to a stable coin if you need to, when something like this is happening, or when there is some trigger event that takes place. Personally, I would not panic sell or dump anywhere on this candle. I would wait until that retracement. And then I would, if I'm going to get out of something and I've lost confidence on an investment, then I would wait for that retracement, and I would exit on a green candle, if possible, at least higher, at least not panic selling on something like this. Because look, like, if you would have panicked out way down here at the bottom yesterday, then, like, you're just screwed. We may or may not ever go back and touch 42,000. So I will not liquidate a position during the middle of a sell-off like that. That's just my strategy again. So overall, what I'm doing, I'm looking to do things like this. I'm looking to start with a foundation, which is just stablecoin yield farming, right? So this is what I do. This is like my safe haven. So I want my investments, I want my profits and everything to land back here. They're not going to go back to like a checking account, right, in a traditional banking system. I want them earning way more than what I could in a traditional banking situation in a stable coin, so I don't have exposure to the volatility and everything in the market. And so then on top of that, what I have is I have my layer one stuff. So this is where I've got like I've got my AVAX, I've got my Matic, and so on. Okay, so I put that here, and then after that I'm looking at the DAOs. So I've got positions in things like I opened a position in Olympus DAO quite a while ago, Time Wonderland, some of these. So that sits on top of my layer one investments, and then I start looking at more the altcoin plays. So that's kind of what I do next. So I'm looking at coins and tokens that I can get in that might not be long-term holds, but maybe they could be like a month or two, or if the project's really awesome and it takes off, then I'll stick with it. But I'm actively trading these. They're not like just buy it and forget about it and hold it. So I do that after I do the DAO stuff, and then at the very top here, this is where I get involved in ICOs, IDOs, and any of the IEO activity. So a little bit more risky, early entry, and that's kind of how I'm treating those. So this overall makes this, it makes this this pyramid, right? This is going to be a really horrible pyramid, but the point is, there's a strategy behind this. So I have an investment strategy, and whether this lines up with yours or not, doesn't. It's up to you how you position yourself in the market and what your exposure looks like. But for me, the way I look at this is, this stuff up here is high risk, and the stuff down here is low risk. Okay, so this is important to me. I have to pay attention to the. Can you guys even see this? I have to pay attention to that dynamic. And hold on, I don't know if you can see this. There we go. All right, so you have to pay attention to that dynamic. And the other thing that's really important about my strategy here is that if I go to the other side, this stuff at the top takes lots of time, and the stuff down here takes very little time. And that's management time, right? Like it takes, I have to keep my eyes on stuff that's at the top here way more than I do once I take profits and I put it down here into like a stable coin yield farming situation. So those are considerations. The higher risk stuff, I mean, seems natural and intuitive, right? I would spend more time on that than anything else. But I wanted to point this out. This is my overall strategy. I'm consistently, looking to reach, like for example with the DAO stuff, reach 100% ROI. And then I want to pull that out, and I want to put profits down here, and then whatever is left over, whatever's left over here, I just let it go, and it's like risk free for me at that point. I've taken my initial investment out, and I've put it back into something that doesn't have market exposure and continues to earn a high yield. So that's my overall strategy. I hope this was helpful. The thing that I would encourage is that, if you guys are doing something different, like I am new to crypto, so I want to hear what you all are doing and how you're investing. If you're doing something different here that I should take a look at or that I should research, then let me know in the comments so I can maybe put a video together and just kind of, it might help a lot of people out. So I do encourage you to leave a comment below. And if this is stuff that you're interested in and you like this video, subscribe and click the notification bell if you want to be notified when new videos come out. Thanks.